Enjoyment Unlimited.
Good morning and welcome to Carnival Breakfast Show newspaper review segment. I am Elizabeth Tessie Okemukoko. So this morning, before we go into the newspaper, their headlines and the storylines, I want to ask you, how are you doing this morning? We do hope that the weather is good at your side. Well, here in Ibadan, the weather is cold. Thank God for the rain last night, and probably we may expect another rainy day today. So this morning we bring you newspaper headline from the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Daily Post, and the Nation newspaper. So part of the news headlines we have for you this morning, we have from the Punch newspaper: court orders UI to reinstate 3 students suspended over tuition protest. Then we have another one from the Nation newspaper: local headlines threaten to withdraw services on Monday. And from the Vanguard: federal government drops terrorism financing charge against ex-AGF Malami son. So now we begin with the news in details. The Federal High Court sitting in Ibadan, Oyo State, has ordered the management of the University of Ibadan to reinstate 3 students suspended for protesting hikes in tuition fees. Justice Ikenyonwe Maya gave this order during the court sitting in Ibadan, the state capital, on Wednesday. The affected students, being Aduwo, Ayodele, Mide, Gbade Gesi, and Nice Linus, are to be reinstated according to court order. This comes after the students were reportedly suspended on July 14, 2025 by the institution's management for protesting after the University Governing Council endorsed a fee hike. The demonstrations, which began at midnight, were said to have triggered by a circular issued by the council's secretary, G.O. Saliu. The circular had stated that after a meeting by the council had considered the review schedule for levies for newly admitted and returning undergraduate students in the 2023-2024 academic section and approved it as recommended by the University Senate. However, in a suit filed before the court, the applicant described their suspension as infringement of their fundamental human rights and urged the court to quash the order. This news was sourced from the Punch newspaper. Court orders UI to reinstate 3 students suspended over tuition protest. Alright, we have another one from the Vanguard here, still on the legal sphere. The federal government yesterday withdrew the terrorism financing charge it filed against the immediate past Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, and his son Abdulaziz. The federal government, through a team of lawyers led by Mr. Akinolu Kehinde, applied to substitute the charge with an amended one concerning the defendant's alleged illegal possession of arms and ammunition. It told the court that the arms and live cartridges were found in Malami's residence in Bekin Kebbi, the Kebbi State's capital. Following the development, Malami, who served as Justice Minister from November 11, 2015 to May 29, 2023, under former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, and his son took fresh pleas to not guilty to the 5-count amended charge. The defense lawyer, Mr. Shaibu Arua, who did not oppose the withdrawal and substitution of the initial charge, persuaded the court, however, to allow the defendants retain the bail initially granted to them. This news was sourced from the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government drops terrorism financing charge against ex-AGF Malami and son. We have another one from the Punch newspaper. The All Progressive Congress has defended the administration of President Bola Tinubu, insisting that democracy is thriving in Nigeria. The party also rejected claims that the ruling APC is responsible for the internal crisis rocking opposition parties. During a live media chat in Abuja yesterday, APC National Chairman Professor Ntewa Yewalda and National Secretary Dr. Ajibola Bashiru defended Tinubu affirming that the ruling party remains resilient, open, and focused on providing effective governance nationwide. The major opposition parties, the African Democratic Congress and the People's Democratic Party, have been embroiled in internal crises that have split their national leadership into factions. And as a result, legal battles have emerged, creating significant uncertainty for both parties as the 2027 elections approach. They also described Tinubu's administration as a scam and a failure, alleging that the economy is in disarray and that insecurity has reached its peak. In response, Bashiru stated that a key feature of democratic governance is the diversity of ideas and the freedom for individuals to express themselves without fear of damaging their reputation or restricting their liberty. This news was sourced from the Punch newspaper. Opposition crisis self-inflicted. APC chair tells ADC. Indigenous carriers acting under the aegis of the Airline Operators of Nigeria have issued a notice to withdraw flight services if the federal government fails to weigh on the astronomical hike in aviation fuel price, which has risen from 900 per litre to 3,300 per litre. Describing the hike as unwanted, the AON, in a letter endorsed by its president, Alhaji Abdul Munaf Yunusa Sarina, who is also the executive secretary to Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, said between February 28, 2026 till date, the product has risen over 300%. The AON also sent notices to the Office of the President, Vice President, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Director General, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, and the Director General, Department of State Service, concerning the astronomical and artificial increase, which it said is not commensurate with the rise in crude oil prices. This news was sourced from the Nation newspaper. Local headlines threaten to withdraw services on Monday. Lastly, we'll take this story from the Daily Post newspaper. Benue State Police Command has issued a stern warning to individuals involved in cattle rustling, urging them to stop or face strict legal consequences. This caution was delivered by the Commissioner of Police, Ifeanyi Emenari, in a statement released on Wednesday through the command spokesperson, Udemi Udet, and shared with newsmen. According to the police, intelligence report and ongoing investigation indicates that cattle rustling has been a major trigger of recurring violence and retaliatory attacks in several communities. The command cautioned not only those directly engaged in cattle theft, but also individuals who buy, shelter, or profit from stolen livestock, stressing that such persons will be treated as accomplices in banditry and prosecuted accordingly. This news was sourced from the Daily Post newspaper. Police warn cattle rustlers, order crackdown in Benue. And this is where we draw the curtain on the program this morning. Carnival Breakfast Show newspaper review segment. Thank you very much for staying tuned and for listening. Do not forget that you can always stay informed with the latest information and news around you by checking out our website at www.carnivalmedia.ng. Also, do not forget to download our app from the iOS and Google Play Store and stay tuned for our other programs that will be coming up during the day. Once again, I am Elizabeth Tessie Okemukoko. Do have a beautiful Thursday.